Good morning, happy Wednesday, and welcome to Facebook Live. So, today is going to be all about in colors. So we have 5 new colors that are coming up, and we're going to talk about all the things. We're going to look at some color comparisons and see how the new colors line up with existing colors as well as older colors, and I'll take your color combination questions if I can, and we will see what we can do here. So I'm just going to make sure get everything set up here so that I can see your comments and talk with you as we go. All right, there we go. Good morning, Vesta. Okay, so the mega kit sale has been going on. This is day 3 of that. It's almost over, so depending on when you're watching this video, the mega kit sale ends tomorrow, April 4th, but it's been so fun to see your excitement for the kits. In fact, over my shoulder right here, you can see boxes full of kits. The postman actually just arrived right before this live. That's why I was a couple minutes late, because he's picking up all the shipments that I've packaged so far. So if you've paid your invoices, I am working on shipping your kits. So I just wanted you to know that. All right, but today is all about in colors. So good morning to everybody who's coming in, or hello later on the replay. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump straight in because we've got a lot of color to talk about. So of course we want to look at the new 2024 to 2026 in colors, and we will, but before we can do that, we have to look at a couple of other things. So these, of course, will be the 5 new in colors that we're going to talk about, and they will show up in your new catalog. So those catalogs have started arriving at people's houses. So if you've ordered from me in the last year, catalogs are on their way. If you haven't and you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to send you a free catalog. So feel free to reach out to me and I will add you to my list. Oh, and there goes my iPad. Sorry, we're gonna have to modify my setup right here for a second. So bear with me. Maybe I have to, let's just say things are a disaster here, you guys, and I really need to clean my studio, and I haven't, so I'm trying to balance things in different places. I'm sure none of you guys have piles in your craft rooms. You guys all have perfectly neat, organized craft rooms, right? That's I'm just the only one, right? No. All right, so this is the catalog and the new in colors that we're talking about. But first, we have to talk about in colors in general, and every year. So let me just say this in case you're new around here. Stampin' Up! Introduces 5 new in colors every year. We're going to look at these sideways, actually. And I'll tell you the names if you can't read sideways. My video is not sideways, I promise. Here we go. We'll do it this way. That way people don't think that I videoed myself sideways. Okay, so every year we get 5 new in colors. So 2 years ago, these 5 colors were introduced: Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, Orchid Oasis, Starry Sky, and Sweet Sorbet. So in colors are around for 2 years, and then they retire. So you'll often see, well, nearly always, when the in colors are referred to, there's a set of years that go with them. So for example, these were the 2022 to 2024 in colors. So they are retiring. These 5 colors are going away at the end of April. So I want to start here because if you need ink refills or blends or markers or cardstock, if you want to stock up on anything that comes in these colors, you're going to want to do that now, because in just a few weeks, these 5 colors are going to go away. So then last year, we welcomed 5 colors last year, and it's always 5 colors, but we had Boho Blue, Wild Wheat, Copper Clay, Pebbled Path, and Moody Mauve. So these were the 5 that we got last year. So these are the 2023 to 2025 in colors. Okay, so those are sticking around for another year on these. So then, now we have the 2024 to 2026 in colors. And here they are in beautiful glory. I am in love with these colors. I just love them so much. And I'm going to make a card out of this later in the video, because these just look so good together. And I love it when all of them work together as a group. So we've got Peach Pie, Petunia Pop, Pretty in Pink, which is a returning color. So my understanding, this is before my time, but Pretty in Pink was a color, I believe in like the late 90s or early 2000s is what I've heard. So if you think that sounds familiar, it is returning. So if you've got some Pretty in Pink, you should take it out. It's coming back. Shy Shamrock and Summer Splash. So as we go through these colors, I'd love to hear what your favorite, what's standing out to you as your favorite. For me, it's Shy Shamrock. I love all things green, and I'm super excited about this green. So I'll show you the card stack, and then we'll do some comparisons to some other colors so you can kind of see how they line up. So here you go. These are our 2024 to 2026 in colors, and they're just beautiful. I love them so much. Kathy, you said your new craft room already has piles. I get it. It totally happens. All right, so here's our 5 new colors. So let's take a look at how these line up. Actually, let me show you the 6th color. This is not an in color, but I do want to show you because we're going to do a color comparison here too. Basic Beige is joining our color line as well. So we have white and vanilla already, and now we're going to have a beige. So I'll show you how this lines up with some other colors too. In fact, while I have Basic Beige, let's start there. So I have all these cardstock colors here, all the current colors, and then I also have some from previous years. So we'll start with, let me move the in colors out of the way. Okay, so let's move these. I've got die cuts floating around. All right, Basic Beige. So if I bring some of our other colors here, we've got Sahara Sand, which is quite a bit darker. Smoky Slate is more gray. There is a bit more tan hues, I would say, in the beige. Here's Gray Granite right there. Let's see. Trying to think of what other colors to show you. Oh, here we go. Vanilla. So let me move this over here. So here's Vanilla next to the beige. So the ones I've been asked about the most are the comparison of these 3 colors. So very vanilla and beige. So vanilla is much more cream than the Basic Beige. And I would say it kind of falls halfway between almost vanilla and Sahara Sand, but it definitely has a little bit more brown tones to it than the very vanilla. So I think it's going to be a great addition to our color line. And also I'll be stamping with the Basic Beige ink pad with the card I'm going to make after we do the color comparison. So it does have an ink pad. All right, let's see here. Okay, yes, Kathy, you're asking, is Basic Beige a cream or a gray? I would say it's actually a little bit more tan than gray. So if I put the grays next to it, so you can see here for the cream, kind of vanilla versus beige. But then if we'll take very vanilla away, and we'll put some, so here it is with Sahara Sand. Sahara Sand is quite a bit darker. And then if I take that out and just put the grays in here, there you go. I think you'll see my lighting is fairly accurate. I'm looking at my iPad to see the coloring. The coloring's actually pretty good on my screen, so you're getting a fairly good combination. But I still would say when you put the grayish tones next to it, I think it has a bit more tan to it. So hopefully that helps. All right, so I will move those colors. So then we'll start with peach pie since it's on top. Oh, Patricia, you're asking about crumb cake. Let's see here. Great question. Here's crumb cake. So here's crumb cake, and here is, oh, no, that's the hair sand. Basic beige. So here is crumb cake and beige next to each other. So much lighter than crumb cake for sure. All right. So I'll set those aside and we'll look at peach pie. If you have other color combination requests, like I said, I'll do my best to be able to show you. I don't have every color under the sun, but I can show you the ones I have. So here's pale papaya next to peach pie. Now I do show you retired colors here because I know that many of you will have some of these colors in your collection, and you might want to know how they line up with colors that you already have. So here's Mango Melody. Let's see, what else should we compare with this one? Let's see, where's pumpkin pie? Pumpkin pie is kind of an orange color. Oh, let me move, I got some stuff up here. Let me move those. There we go. So there's pumpkin pie. Calypso Coral is much more pink, but I'll stick it in here just so you can kind of see. This is much more orange, I would say, than Calypso Coral. Those are kind of all the orangey tones that I've got. So you can see where peach pie falls in the combination of kind of some of the other orange tones that we have had before. Okay, trying to just watch your comments in case you ask for a color combination, but I think that's kind of all of the orangey type tones that we have. So, because if I put it up to, like, let's say Flirty Flamingo, you'll see here peach pie is very definitely more orange. So that's kind of why I laid out the orange colors, not the pinks. So, all right, I'm going to keep Calypso Coral, move all of these oranges out of the way, and we will do Petal Pink. I'm sorry, Pretty in Pink. Ooh, said the wrong word there. Okay, so Pretty in Pink. We've got Petal Pink, and there's Polished Pink. Let's see here, Blushing Bride, Melon Mambo, Flirty Flamingo, and I'll fix these in just a moment, but I make sure everything stays in line. Let's see, what other pink? How about Bubble Bath? I should make smaller samples. Then they'd fit on my desk better. We've got Berry Burst. So push that pretty pink down there. I think those are the majority of the pinks that we've had over the last few years. So that's kind of how Pretty in Pink falls in line with these. Let me fix these here for a second. So if I let's say this, I would kind of liken Pretty in Pink to like a baby pink is what I would call it. I think kind of what I would think of as a bit of a traditional baby pink. We'll just turn that one sideways. But you can kind of see how it all, I gotta push that further down. How about that? There we go. how it all fits in the grand scheme of the pinks that we've had. Both current and some retiring colors. So this is polished pink back here. Man, Bubble Bath almost looks white. When it's put up with some of these darker pinks, it almost looks white. Now I am going to go ahead and introduce, oh, you know what? I should put Moody Mauve here too. We'll just stick that right there. Yeah, we'll stick that there. Now let's go ahead and put in Petunia Pop on top here, or here, we'll stick it right here. Because Petunia Pop, I think, goes with both pinks and purples. So I think there's some good, good comparisons in both color families. So this is another new in color here. So we have Petunia Pop, and then up here is Pretty and Pink. So these are both new in colors. And so you can see Petunia Pop does fit in with the pink families. All right, so then if I take away the pinks and we take a look at some purple, let's see, I'll leave the, oops, so I get that unsnagged, there we go. So I'll leave the Petunia Pop, and then I can bring in Fresh Freesia and Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, let's see here, Rich Razzleberry, Blackberry Bliss, let me see if I have any other purples. No, I think that's about all the purples I've got. Wait, what's this? Oh no, that's a red. Okay. So here you can see how the Petunia Pop also fits really well in the purple color family. So I think just depending on what you compare, or I'm sorry, what you pair the Petunia Pop with, you could make it look like it's purple, or you could make it look like it's a pink. So I think it's a really versatile color in having the options. All right, so we've done 3 of them. Well, 4 if you count Basic Beige, but we've done 3 of the in colors. Let's do Summer Splash next. This is another one where I think it can work with both greens and blues. So I'm actually going to pull a whole lot of colors here. So bear with me a second. I'm going to put the greens here and the blues here, and then I'll lay them all out. But we have a lot of greens and blues over the years. So let's see here. A lot of greens and blues. And I think Summer Splash, you'll find, can really go with both. I did initially think of Bermuda Bay when I saw Summer Splash, so I'm actually curious to see how it looks together. Okay, I think that's all my greens and blues. Oh, wait, you know what? We also have Boho Blue. Let's see, we've got these as well. And these. Okay. Boho Blue. All right, there we go. So we'll start with the blues. So Summer Splash, like I said, when I first saw it, I actually was wondering how it would look with Bermuda Bay. Oh, wow. Okay, Bermuda Bay is a lot darker than Summer Splash. So I'm going to move these over and start laying these out. So here's Blueberry Bushel, Coastal Cabana. So now Coastal Cabana, let me put that one right next to Summer Splash. So there is some closeness here, but Coastal Cabana is definitely still a few shades lighter than Summer Splash. So I think that one looks a little bit closer on my screen than it actually is in real life. Misty Moonlight, Azure Afternoon, Pacific Point, Night of Navy, Pool Party, Balmy Blue, Tahitian Tide, and Boho Blue. So what I'll do is I'll take my We'll put Coastal Cabana here. So I'll just lay Summer Splash across the top. So you can kind of see how it compares with a whole lot of different blues that we've had over the years. So definitely not as close to Bermuda Bay as I was thinking. Bermuda Bay was considerably darker. And then I think, you know, there is some closeness here, but this is a much lighter shade, I think. So there's definitely a difference between these two. So that is comparing to blue. And then if I remove the blues, and we're going to put the greens here now, because Summer Splash can go kind of both ways. So we have Pretty Peacock, Lost Lagoon, Lemon Lime Twist, Granny Apple Green, Old Olive. Actually, I'm going to do the same thing I just did for the blues. We're going to lay them out this way. Shaded Spruce, Parakeet Party, Soft Seafoam, Mint Macaron, Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent. Oh, see, so many greens, which just makes my little heart happy because green is my favorite color. Mossy Meadow, and then Garden Green. Okay, let me make sure these are all in view. And then we'll take Summer Splash and I'll just lay it across the top here. So here, you can see how it can still fit in really well with the greens. And then if I bring Shy Shamrock and put that in here as well. Now, when I put Shy Shamrock and Summer Splash together, I do see more of the blue tone coming out in Summer Splash, but it definitely has some green hints to it as well. And so then you can see I'll take Summer Splash away and just give you Shy Shamrock with the rest of our greens. Shy Shamrock to me is completely unique compared to all of the greens I'm showing you. So now, of course, I don't have every green that's ever existed in the Stampin' Up! World, but this is a whole lot of them from the past few years. And yeah, it's totally different from the other greens we've had. All right, so that is how the 5 in colors compare with current and some retired colors. So with the new in colors, before I jump into a card project, I am going to give you guys a first peek at In Color Club. So In Color Club is a way to stock up on your in color products without breaking the bank. So I break it down for you into 1 color per month, and you'll get everything you see pictured here and more. Let me grab this other paper. There's also this gorgeous glimmer paper that comes in all 5 colors. Just spread that apart. It's absolutely stunning. So, making a sample pack here of Summer Splash. So, with In Color Club, each month you'll get a package that contains a full thing of cardstock, a ribbon, the blends, the ink refill, the designer series paper, the color of the month from the 2 different embellishments. And you'll also get the designer series paper. There's 8 sheets, and I'll show you those patterns. There we go. I love the patterns on this year's papers. So you'll get all of that. And there's some more items too that you'll get. You get a free gift every month, and then you get an extra bonus gift when you finish all 5 kits. And you can choose whether you want your In Color Club in 1, 2, or 5 months. So just depending on how long you want to wait to stock up on your 5 colors. So I'll give you a little secret. I just published the post on my blog, handcraftedblessings.com, that gives you all the information for In Color Club, and you guys can be the first to sign up. So you can go check that out. But let's make a card using the 5 in colors. So I have a whole bunch of 1/2-inch strips. Okay, all 5 colors are here in just 5-inch scrap pieces. Okay, I'm going to move those up just there. And I'm going to start with a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to be laying strips on this, and I need to make sure that they adhere really well. And so I've got some options. I could put glue on this, but I'm too impatient to wait for it to dry. I could cover it with some tape, but I'm afraid I might miss a section. I could do tear and tape, but that just seems like it would take a long time. So instead, I am going to use our adhesive sheets. So our adhesive sheets are a great way to basically make stickers. So you can use these adhesive sheets to fully coat your papers and really create stickers. So let me show you why an adhesive sheet would be beneficial. So when you get ready to die cut, sometimes we end up with die cuts like this one, okay? So I'll show you this. This comes from, I'm using this stamp set today actually, Unbounded Love, and it has a whole lot of dies. You can see all my pencil outlines. I outline my dies so that I know how to get them back on the sheet, because like with this one, there are so many dies. See if it tells me here. There are 16 dies in here. And rather than having to play Tetris to get them all back on the sheet, I just outlined them in pencil. And I'm currently die cutting with these. That's why a bunch of them are missing. But what's really fun about these dies, some of them will give you 2 usable shapes. So this die, for instance, will give you both of these pieces. So you get a frame and you get a inside piece, okay? So it actually cuts out 2 things for you. But as you can see, this is super thin, and it's going to be challenging to put adhesive on this. So what would have been really helpful is if I had taken my cardstock, put an adhesive sheet on it, and then die cut. Because what that would have done is it would have basically turned this into a sticker, which I could then put on my projects. So that's where adhesive sheets are super helpful to have, is when you've got detailed dies like this. And while I'm at it, here's another one. This fun scalloped die will actually cut out 2 shapes at the same time. So you get a little scalloped rectangle with stitching, and then you get a little stitched rectangle. So, and I think there's a couple more that cut out 2 shapes at the same time. So I thought that would be fun to show you. And that's where these adhesive sheets can come in handy. But they're also good for a card like I'm just about to make. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut this adhesive sheet at 3 3/4. Okay. So we got that at 3 3/4. And I could go ahead and, you know what, we'll just go ahead and do it at 5 inches too, just to make it simpler. Because then it'll just be the right size. All right. And all I'm going to do is I am going to peel this off, and it's actually going to come in 3 different pieces. So I'm just going to stick this on my cardstock like that. And I like this. I like the 3 different pieces because it gives me kind of an easy way to line things up and stick it down. Now, I could have also peeled off the large backing and set my cardstock down on the 3 pieces, but I prefer to do it this way for this current project. Okay, so let's see if I can get this lined up. There we go. Okay, so I've got my adhesive sheet on here. Now, if I was die cutting, I would now turn this over and I would die cut, and that would make my stickers, okay? But instead, what we're going to do is we're just going to peel off the backing, and we are just going to create one giant sticker. Now I put the grid sheet out because if there was any stickiness that overlaid my cardstock, I didn't want it on my desk. And so that's why I stuck it there, because I'd rather have that excess stickiness on my grid sheet. All right, so now I have a super duper sticky sticker. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pick one color to start with, and I think I'll go with Summer Splash, and I'm just gonna lay that across my card. Okay, and let me get this stickiness off my fingers really quick because I don't want that to stick in the wrong spot. There we go. So I'm going to be careful not to touch my basic white piece. So now that I have my anchor point, I'm going to add all 5 colors here. Oh, stink. I didn't put that quite far enough up. I don't know if I can peel this off. Oh, that's a negative. That's okay. We can fix that. I'm just going to peel a little, or cut a little bit off right here. And because it's a sticker, I have a lot of stickiness left up there, so I'm just going to stick that up there. I wasn't paying attention, and I didn't quite have it all the way on this end. All right, we'll do Peach Pie next. There we go. And I'll do Petunia Pop. And I'm just laying them right snug up against each other, but not overlapping. And then last but not least, I'll put the Shy Shamrock. This is a fun way to use up your scraps too, if you have them. And you could do any width scrap. Well, I don't know if I'd go much bigger than this, just because you wouldn't get as many colors on there, you know. But you could definitely do smaller. I mean, you could do 1/4 or 1/8 inch strips if you wanted to. Okay. So I'm gonna put these here. And the beautiful thing about having it all be a sticker is I know that it's all going to stick. Get that little corner in there. Let's see, I need this color. And then I have a tiny little bit left over, so I'm going to add a little bit more Pretty in Pink. And I'll just burnish that down really good with my finger because it's such a tiny little piece that we're going to have. Okay, I'm going to turn this around. And we are going to do some more color strips. So I'm just randomly putting them on here. I'm not trying to keep them in the same order with each of the directions. If that really matters to you, that you have that kind of pattern built in, you could absolutely do that. And you could do this with just a few colors. But I thought this would be a fun way to show you the 5-in colors. Actually, I think I'm gonna put that over here. There we go. Let's see, we'll put some, just a tiny little bit there, so burnish that down really good. All right, let's see here, what shall we do? I'll do some, well, I've already got 2 of those. Let's do this one. Put that one here. Put some Shy Shamrock. We'll do some more pink, some Pretty in Pink, some Summer Splash, and then a tiny bit more orange. I don't know if that's going to stick because that corner is really, really tiny. But we'll just burnish that down really good so it gets stuck. And nope, that's not going to stick. That's okay. All right, I'm going to move all these extra strips out of the way. So here's our card front. How pretty. Thanks for tuning in. No, I'm just kidding. We're not leaving it this way. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're now going to take this. I'm going to use my trimmer because I think, let me see if I can figure out which way I can put this in here. Yes, we're going to stick this in here. And I'm just going to come right here along the edge of my basic white. We're going to cut all those off. I caught just a tiny bit of my basic white, so move these back out of the way. All right, and I can save all of these scraps for later because it will easily turn into another card. So now I will put this in here. And once again, we'll just cut along our basic white. We're just going to trim it down. And I can always clean it up with my snips later, so I'm just trying to get the majority of it. There we go. And because my adhesive was on the basic white, there's no extra adhesive on any of these scraps over here. So I don't have to worry about them sticking to each other. That's also part of why I like putting the adhesive on the basic white and not onto the colored strips. All right. So we got that. Get all those little scraps off of there. It looks like there's just one section here that I didn't quite get all the way up against the basic white, so we're just going to trim that really quick. There we go. And let's see how it turned out. So by putting all of those strips together, we now have a fun card front. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take a piece of, where did I do with it? I set it here. Oh, here we go. We're actually going to take a piece of the basic beige. So I'm going to move all these scraps over. And I'm going to cut two things here. So first I'm going to cut a card base. So I'm going to cut this at 5.5. So it'll be 5.5 by 8.5. And we'll turn and score it at 4 1/4. So that'll give me my card base. And then I'm actually going to cut this down to be 4 by 5 1/4. Oops. There we go. And usually when I'm cutting down for one of these, I just quickly go through and add the second one too, because that way it's all ready to go for the bin where I keep this 4 by 5 1/4 pieces. All right, so we're going to put that here. We're going to take this and let's dimensionalize it. And I'm also, while I'm here, we're going to dimensionalize both of these. So the thing about basic beige is it really does look good with a lot of colors. It is definitely going to be a really nice kind of neutral color to have in our collection. All right, so I'm just going to take all of these backings off at the same time. There we go. And, oh, I picked up the wrong one. We got to do this one first. So we're going to put this on the front. It's tone on tone, which I like to do sometimes. And then we're going to add our card front, and it just really pops with that basic beige background. And then I'm going to add one of those Unbounded Love die cuts. And let me see if I've got my, okay, so here's the die cut. And funny thing, this is what it's supposed to look like when it comes out of your die. A nice stitched scallop oval Really cute. The very first time I ran this die through my die cutter, this is how it came out, which actually I think looks really cool, but you can definitely see the difference. But what happened was my paper stuck to my plate, and so it ripped a little bit as it was coming out of the die. So I ended up with kind of just a different look, but I wanted to show you what it's meant to look like, but I am just going to go ahead and use the scrap piece right here. All right, so we're going to take this, and this will be my first time using the basic beige ink, so find out what it looks like. All right, now Unbounded Love has 25 different stamps and a lot of great coordinating sentiments. So let's do a happy birthday. I think that'll fit on this die cut. Let me make sure it's going to fit. Yes, oh, that's going to be perfect. So we're going to do happy birthday. And then, let's see, is there something for the inside that would go well? How about may all your wishes come true? So, let's see, where's that? That's right above it. So we'll take that as well. Okay, so I'm actually going to use the same block. So I'm going to stick this one down towards the bottom, and then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to put this one on the back, but towards the top, so I can still see through. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit. Oh, and I'm going to dip my ink block in the ink pad. No, that's not, don't do that. I'm going to use the back side of the die cut because I want to see what this looks like. I have never used this ink color before, and I want to see how it's going to look on the basic white. Oh, that's going to work quite lovely. So there it is. But now we're going to turn it over and stamp for real. But it's kind of fun to test because on the off chance that I didn't like what it looked like, I was going to grab a different color ink. All right, so there's our happy birthday. And then we are going to, well, I can't stamp the inside. Well, here, let's do this. We're going to briefly decide, do we want it to go this way or this way? What do you guys think? Should we do it portrait or should we do it landscape? While you're deciding, I'm going to grab my ribbon. Should we make this a portrait card or a landscape card? And I'm going to use, I better close my ink pad. Safety first, kids, safety first. We're going to be using the basic beige ribbon. So I'll trim this end. And what I'm going to do with it, to follow the lines, okay, seeing landscape, some portrait. Judy says it looks good both ways. Thank you, Judy. I do. Honestly, I think it could work both ways. Okay, so since I have it in landscape and I'm seeing more landscape, I'm going to go ahead and use it this way. And I'm going to put some adhesive here. And I'm going to just lay this across. I'm going to fold it over. Now, almost 100% of the time that I use ribbon because I waste less ribbon that way. There we go. Okay, so now I can put some dimensionals on my die cut. There we go. So nobody's going to know that we sample stamped before we for real stamped. So now I can stick that here on my card front. We'll turn this over and we're going to stamp on the inside. Now here's the thing about stamping on the inside. If you mess up, you can always just add a layer right over it. So you don't have to be nervous about stamping on the inside of your base, because you can just add like a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece right over it if you mess up. So, but this one really doesn't need an insert because it's such a light color. So now I can fold There we go. And then we could add some embellishments, or we can just leave it just like this. But look at how fun that is. I think also it would be super fun to do this. Let's see here. Do I want a little sparkle? Yes, I want the sparkly ones. So let's do, we're going to do one of each. And I am going to, see, I'm going to go this way. And then this way. Put this one on this side. And this over here. So we'll just add all 5 sparkly bling right there at the bottom. And so there we have a fun little birthday card showing off the 5 new in colors, because I just think the 5 colors look so good together. And so there's going to be a lot of fun ways to combine them. There's even a pack of paper in the new catalog that features the 5 new in colors. So that's really fun as well. And hint, hint, you might see that as one of the gifts during In Color Club. So, but I didn't say that, did I? They're supposed to be a surprise. So anyways, thanks for tuning in for our color comparison and our in colors. And just know the In Color Club is live over on the website, and you can get signed up and grab all of your bonuses with it as well. So thanks guys, and don't forget to encourage one another and build each other up. I'll see you soon.